Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and if you hear any noise, it's just me and the girls.
Well,
Oh, wow!
And the the mailman guy.
the mailman is here, ready to deliver.
Moving and grooving. How are you?
Spectacular. How you doing?
Doing okay. Doing okay. Myra, new glasses today?
Oh, these are part of the glasses in a bag that you can get on Amazon, like reading glasses. Like you get 12 for $1 or something.
Uh,
The lenses may fall out before the show's over. I don't know.
oh,
It's my
okay.
first
Okay.
time wearing them.
Very cool. Very cool. Stephen Hill doesn't do the bag eyeglasses on a bag. He does
Nice
Absolutely. And
fancy.
profile.
I absolutely do the eyeglass in the bag. I mean, they're in a Gucci bag, but other than that,
Excuse me.
just playing. Just kidding. These are jokes. These are all jokes.
Sure they
Nice
are.
things. I haven't seen those. Give me the profile on those. Profile.
But these,
Nice. Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Very nice.
Close up.
Mm.
Stephen Hill and Myra J are with us tonight. Young Quinn is not able to join us tonight, but we do have a very special guest, Natalie Wilson, one of the founders of the Black and Missing Foundation. If you notice that once a week we have an entry from a young person, sometimes an elderly person who is just that Black and missing, and we give the picture and let you know a little bit about them in the newsletter as well as in our evening program. And I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to reconnect with Natalie for people who don't know about the organization and how they have worked to help so many people and to put a spotlight on those that need it and are not getting it necessarily in their media markets in their town. So I look forward to that. Stephen Hill, where are you coming from? Where are you going to? Do you know where you're going to? Do you know what life is showing you? You're muted.
I know what life is showing me for sure. Welcome to. Wait, there's no good site
Cracker.
here, but welcome to Las Vegas. Welcome to Las Vegas, my friend.
Ah,
Uh,
Viva. See.
Viva Las Vegas. I'll be on for a moment, then I'm going to jump off and then jump back on as we check into the hotel. Mariah Carey's here tonight, so going to see Mariah Carey
Ah,
Ah,
live. Celebrate. Was it Adventures of Mimi is 20 years old, and so
wow.
she's doing a concert run, a small residency at the Park MGM, and I've heard nothing
wow.
but great things. So looking forward to
Nice.
seeing that
And
tonight.
there's a
Yes.
connection because the man who is her hairstylist,
Yeah.
we've had on the show. Remember when you put the
Yeah.
wig
Indeed.
on and
Oh
did
yeah.
all of that? Yeah, is connected to Natalie. And
He is. I
so,
saw. I,
yeah,
I saw. Oh, connected to our
yeah.
guest today.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
I'll see him tonight.
Did you bring your wig to reconnect with
Oh
him?
my gosh.
Sybil, have you ever known me to be without my wig?
No, no, I've
I
not.
think not. I
No,
think
I've
not.
not. No, I've not. We're all going to meet up soon and see each other in person, not in
We
our
are.
squares. Uh, are you going to be on the whole week, Stephen Hill, on the Fantastic
Yes.
Voyage?
Yes. We will be there for the entire week, just enjoying the good music and the good fellowship and everything else. Can't wait. Well, this is.
Absolutely.
If we counted, how many years is this?
This is
20.
23 or 24?
it's 20. I want to say it's 23 because of 1 year of COVID
Right,
that
right.
they missed.
Right.
So it's
But they canceled at the very last minute because they were determined to have that.
yeah,
They sorry. Yes.
yeah,
Hey
but we
man. Say man, you sure we got to cancel it?
but it'll be fun to get the old gang back together again and to reconnect. So very
Uh,
cool.
I am looking forward to solving the problems of the world over a tasty beverage with the
Hmm.
two of you.
Hmm.
Yes,
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 indeed. Looking
yeah,
forward.
yeah.
And the roundtables continue, and it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Looking forward
Yes.
to
I
it.
don't even know who the talent is. My wife is not performing this year, and if I'm going to be honest, I kind
For
of.
us, for you, it's
Yes, yeah, that's a different story. That's a different story in the cabin. But she's kind enough to let me drag her because I love going and I love being with her and love being with all of us. So all those things together.
Oh,
So
nice, nice,
she's
nice,
very kind, very
kind.
kind.
nice.
Oh,
Yay, we're excited. Yay,
yay!
yay.
Bird. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you guys.
Oh,
Good for you.
I'll be paying for it for sure. I'll be paying for it later somehow.
Oh, sure you will.
Look,
Awesome, over.
look at Stephen here just taking one for the team.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter in which we seek to super serve the African American community with the various topics that are of interest and for us and by us. We have a number of young contributors who participate in the newsletter several times a week. Tonight is Kwyn Townsend Riley writing about the cancellation of a gay actor's talk by a Pennsylvania school board because of his lifestyle. Kwyn handles all things LGBTQIA plus. Her big brother Cameron also is one of our contributors. He does politics as along with me, and Nicole Malone is our social justice contributor, and Aprilette Russell is our mental health and wellness contributor, and she's on Thursday. So, um, as I said, Kwyn is not here today, but we are going to talk a little bit about this story. And I'm not familiar with this young man who is, I sound like my grandmother, with this young man who was featured in this article, but his name is Malik Pancoli, scheduled to give a talk on anti bullying at a Pennsylvania school next month, and school board members scrapped it, citing concerns over his activism and his lifestyle. The Cumberland Valley School District School Board voted unanimously to pass a motion to cancel his speaking engagement next month at Mountain View Middle School in Mechanicsburg, Philadelphia. And the vote was 8-0. I think that should be Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. His visit, according to the New York Times, was not even on the board agenda. He labels himself as an activist and is proud of his lifestyle, and don't think that it should have been imposed on the students, according to a board member. This is not new. This is nothing new, but I guess a person of his stature, he was an actor on the hit show 30 Rock, played the assistant to Alec Baldwin. He has also done voiceover work on the Disney Channel cartoon Phineas and Ferb, and an author who's written children's books. And one of his books is called The Best at It, which is about a gay Indian American boy named Raul and his experience dealing with bullying in a small Midwest town. That sounds like it. Oh, that's nice. That's just a nice background there, Stephen Hill. Okay, so we'll let you go and do that, and we'll talk about this a little bit, and then you'll come back when you can. Okay, cool. Um, Myra, this is not unusual, as I said, but this is I thought Pennsylvania was perhaps a bit more progressive than some of the southern school districts that might do this.
Probably Philadelphia is, but
Mhm.
not the state. It's just like there's Atlanta and then there's Georgia,
Okay,
and they are not the same.
right, right.
They are not the same. And to me it's really sad. I saw what yesterday, I think in Tennessee they voted to let the teachers and school administrators and stuff carry
Have
guns.
guns, yeah.
And so somebody said, so they're giving them guns and banning books, and this
Hmm.
is where our children go to learn.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I feel. Like we are just constantly going backwards, to me.
It really is. And one of the things that Coy talks about is social justice in partnership with our partner, Black Voters Matter, is every week talking about the importance of voting and why your vote counts, and dealing with towns like this or smaller communities where your school board is elected by your community. Um, as we like to say, the further down the ballot, the closer those roles and their positions are to your way of life and your
Mhm.
way of doing things. And so it's really important that not only do we get involved in races like that, but that we know what those particular positions are, how that school board can not only talk about who they don't want to speak before their school's children, but also, as you said, about the libraries and other things that are related to your children's learning environment. This week also talked about banned books and how it has been the longest or the largest number of banned books in this past 2023-24 school year. than ever in history.
Wow. Wow.
And so these are things that we can have an effect on if we live in those communities and want to fight against this system. I know that there are really great people in the Tennessee legislature, the two Justins,
Mhm.
two young Black men who were kicked out of the legislature, won their way back in, and talking about the fight against this nonsense. Um, of, of the teachers having the permission to carry guns.
That's that's literally, I don't have the words because it makes no sense to me. This is not why people went into teaching.
Right.
And and we need our teachers. They are underrated, they are underpaid, they are underappreciated. But you're gonna say, we got your back, here's a gun.
Yeah.
Duh.
I wish somebody had come to my mama, Chicago public school teacher, and said, "Oh, Mrs. Wilkes, we got a gun for you." She's like, "Oh, that's nice, dear. What are we gonna do with this?"
Right, right.
Because that was just totally foreign. I mean, they had to dodge bullets in the inner city where she was teaching.
Hmm.
And so now you're going to have them hold guns and protect themselves and their students?
Yeah, no,
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 no.
not not a good idea.
Sorry, that doesn't work for me.
No.
I'll tell you what else doesn't work for me is watching this case in New York City, in which Donald Trump is on trial in the hush money trial. Hush money trial. He is facing 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in connection with hush money payments meant to prevent harmful stories from coming to light in the final days of his 2016 presidential campaign, and his friendship with the man who was they call him a publisher, but he was really a salesman for for
Pecker.
yeah, Davis Pecker. And as J. Anthony Brown said, I shouldn't do his joke, but his name was used a lot uh, in the news stories. David Pecker would tell about how they paid $30,000 to a doorman to keep quiet on a story. Like we'll take your story and we'll give you $30,000, meaning you can't sell it to anybody else. And
Mhm.
this was a story that was kind of bandied about, but it ended up, according to them, not having any legs. It was about Donald Trump fathering a child outside of his marriage. And they said they were never able to prove that. But while they were killing those stories, they were also promoting stories of his enemies,
Mhm.
his those that were running against him, opponents such as Hillary Clinton, such as Ted Cruz, such
Marco
as Dr.
Rubio.
Marco Rubio, Dr. Ben Carson. That
Mhm.
Dr. Ben Carson left a sponge inside a brain that he had done surgery on. It was that kind of stuff that they were doing to bring them down and to lift Donald Trump up.
I thought about you yesterday because I really wanted to ask you this question today, Sybil, and I'm not trying to be funny. I really want to understand this. The media keeps saying, but they won't put Donald Trump in jail because they keep saying,
The
well,
gag order.
they can fine him or they can
Mhm.
do so, or he can do jail time, but they're not going to put him in jail because he's running for president. But if they keep telling us everyone is equal under the law,
Law, right.
then I don't understand why they can't put him in jail.
And he's asking for immunity. So if he gets that, he really isn't going to have to follow the law. And I'm not sure if it's because I don't believe it's because he's president or was president. I think it's because of the amenities that come with being president. Like, where are you going to put the Secret Service guys when he goes to prison? You
That's
know,
all. Look, hook them up to get handcuff them. When I was a probation officer, if we
Mhm.
had to take a kid to the emergency room, I am cuffed to that kid sitting there moaning right with her, like, yeah, I'm pissed too. You know, but it comes with the job.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think if he's complaining about how cold the courtroom is,
Oh my
let
God.
him see that cold cell when he went that orange uniform to match his face with no skivvies. You know what I'm saying?
Howdy Petey. Just,
put
and
him
they
in
just
jail.
saying mean things about me. And, well, okay, buck up,
I, I,
Buttercup.
it's so the words just don't match the actions because they
Right,
keep saying everybody is equal under the law, but they're not going to put him in jail because
right.
because what that tells me. So if I want to do some really unscrupulous stuff, all I have to do is run for president and then say, well, no, they're not going to put me in jail right now because I'm running for president. That's what speaks volumes to me.
His people are going before the Supreme Court, and we're close because we want to get to Natalie. He can't go to the Supreme Court tomorrow because he got to be back in New York court. But his lawyers are going to court to plead for his immunity, to give presidents immunity for things that he might do or things that he has done, and they will present this, and whether or not this Supreme Court gives him the right. They don't believe that if they do give him some kind of immunity, it'll be qualified. It won't be all encompassing.
Right.
He won't be able to, go down and shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and get away with it. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, and whether he will be able to do this. Stephen Hill, do you want to chime in on this before we go to Natalie about Black and Missing? Any thoughts on?
Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. Trump is going to. There's no way he can end up in jail. Like there's just no way. And I'm with Myra. The more he gets away with, the more people feel like he is Superman, and he's gaining votes every single time he disrespects the process. He gains votes from those who are disenfranchised in what people call the flyover states in Iowa and Nebraska and Ohio and all those places. So it's unfortunate. But he's playing this game perfectly.
Those are the kinds of stories we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. If you'd like to subscribe, we'd love to have you. Please go to sybilwilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. It's absolutely free. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. And it makes a really lovely Mother's Day gift. So thank you for listening to that. And let us now go to our friend Natalie Wilson, welcome her in, and talk about the Black and Missing Foundation. Hey, Natalie, how are you?
Hey there, doing well. How are you all?
Doing fine, letting the weight of the world kind of overwhelm us, but nothing compared to the work that you're doing. Natalie, I came to know her through our friend Jackie Reed, and she came on the Joyner Show to talk about this organization that she created with her sister-in-law. How did all this come to pass there, Natalie?
Well, Sybil, the organization is inspired by a young lady by the name of Tamika Houston, who went from my sister-in-law's hometown of Spartanburg, South Carolina. And we read how her family really struggled to get media coverage, national media coverage around her disappearance. After a couple of weeks after Tamika disappeared, Lori Hacken disappeared. She dominated the news cycle. Then Natalie Holloway disappeared. I'm sure I said her name. You all know her story. You see her face. And we were really disheartened. We didn't know if people of color were disappearing at such an alarming rate because we don't dominate the news cycle, right? Derek and I decided to do some research. And at that time, in 2008, 30% of all persons missing were of color, and they were primarily Black males. So we said, we have to do something about this. I'm in media relations, Derek is in law enforcement, and those are the two critical professions needed to help bring awareness to and find our missing. And what keeps us going today is that 40% of the missing population are people of color. And families, when they reach out to us, they're saying, you know what, no one would help me. Law enforcement is writing us off. These cases are under the radar. Can you help? And we cannot turn mothers and fathers, even children that are looking for their parents away. So that's what keeps us going and why we do what we do, because we have to advocate and be a voice for these families.
And how do they get to you, or how do you get to the families when their loved ones go missing? How does that process work?
So we learn about cases a number of ways. Well, for instance, this weekend you sent me a case, right? Jackson. Law enforcement is reaching out. The police departments are now utilizing our resources. And the community, they're saying, hey, you know, we know that you all are experts in this field. Can you help us? So what we do, our approach is holistic. So from A through Z, when a person contacts us, the first thing we have to do is make sure there is a police report on file.
Right.
And if there isn't, we walk them through the process. We upload that information with a picture to our website. We share that information on social media as well as with our media partners because we need community engagement. Someone knows something, so we have to amplify these cases.
Wow. What does this do to your spirit when you have these cases and you know that you have this story to get out and it's not getting out the way that it needs to? Like, not every case is going to be a Natalie Holloway case, right? And Myra, I remember when this came out and we were talking about it off air. And Myra was getting angrier and angrier because she's like, this little blonde girl, you know, is getting off and actually talking about what you're talking about, saying that we have our own who are missing. It's kind of frustrating. And then, you know, the police aren't giving all of the attention, and it's not all their fault, obviously. A lot of them are doing their due diligence, but isn't it kind of frustrating? Is it sometimes like hitting a wall?
Well, honestly, it depends on the day that you catch me.
Right.
I am mad as hell. And then there are days that I'm determined that we will get law enforcement to do their job, or we will get the media to cover these stories because it's bigger than us. I cannot go to a family and say, you know what, the media won't talk to me. They won't cover this story. We have to keep pounding the pavement and doing all that we can because the people that are missing, they look like me, right? They're from my community. It could be me or one of my loved ones. And I would want someone to help and to know that someone is working arm in arm with us. And our mission is to make our missing household names too. And again, we're not being, you know, unrealistic. We know that everyone will not get that media coverage, but there's also social media where we don't have to wait on a news cycle. I mean, you utilize your newsletter and every Wednesday you're sharing a profile, and that's what we need our community to do, to utilize your network to help find and bring these missing individuals home.
It is it breaks my heart sometimes to when we read through the profile of the missing, Black and missing, and each week, and but sometimes we get the good news that they've been found. They've been reunited with their families. They have been, you know, the good news is that, you know, we can take them off the list and put them on the board as a success story, right?
Absolutely. And that's what keeps us in the community going. I mean, when we're sharing profiles after profiles of missing people, we're reading the comments and people are becoming discouraged. But when we share a profile where an individual has been found, I mean, people are so elated and excited and happy to know that someone has returned home. And we know that that family can now sleep at night because they know where their loved one is. So, you know, it takes all of us, not just the media and law enforcement, but our community. They need to step up as well. You cannot turn a blind eye to this issue because you don't know the person that's missing.
Right.
And we ask people all the time, your viewers, do you know who's missing from your community? Start there, share the profile, help these families.
I think I saw Myra and Steve a story on one of the TV shows, syndicated TV shows, and it was a success story, but it was a young white woman who was being kidnapped, and the kidnapping was caught on the Ring camera.
I saw that. Yes. Yes.
And I'm just wondering if we have stories like that because they had a really good camera, so they got a good look at her, they got a good look at the guy, and they were able to reconnect her with her family.
And also the people whose Ring camera that it was captured on contacted 911 immediately. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we just saw something that this lady needs help. Like right now,
Yeah.
she's in danger. Yeah.
And
And
that
that's
would
what
be a message I give to the entirety of the Black community is a doorbell camera. I don't want to specifically say it should be a certain brand, but like, there's
Right.
one that's prominent, obviously.
Yeah,
But I
right.
think the number of malfeasances that have been caught by those cameras, we would like to, Natalie, we'd like to make your job go away. Honestly, we really love it, and these door cameras could do a lot towards that.
Right. And we understand that there's a sense of mistrust, right, between law enforcement and our community. But again, we have to humanize these missing individuals. They are our mothers, fathers, our children, our grandparents that are disappearing at an alarming rate. So if you have some information, if you see something, I know it sounds simple,
Yeah.
something, because it can bring a missing person home.
For instance, there's a young woman, and she's featured in today's newsletter. I believe it's Janaya
Janiyah Jackson,
Jackson. She's 16 years old, and she's missing from her family in Orlando, Florida. She's 5 feet 4 inches tall, a little thing, 5 feet 4 inches tall, 113 pounds, a light complexion, black hair, shoulder length hair, brown hair rather, and she's been missing since the 15th of April, so a little over a week now. And she was last seen at her high school, Edgewater High School, and they give a description of the clothes that she was wearing. And so I always end when I do the audio for the newsletter. I always say, take a look at her picture, and if she looks familiar to you, go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. How can people do that? What do they do?
Well, let me just add something about Janiyah's case.
Mm-hmm.
She is listed as a runaway, right?
Right.
And what we're seeing many times with our children, law enforcement will classify them as a runaway. If you're classified as a runaway, you do not receive the Amber Alert. You definitely don't get any type of law enforcement resources, and you definitely don't get any media coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 out of our 10 cases, the children did not wander or run away from home. They are, I hate to say it, sometimes victims of sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And even if Janiyah left home voluntarily, what is she wandering or leaving from? And ultimately, what is she getting herself into? Because we know that within being on the streets or wherever she is for 24 to 48 hours, she will be propositioned for sex and could be a victim of sex trafficking. So if your viewers have any information about a missing person, if you have a tip, please visit us at bamfi.org, and you can provide your tip anonymously. We will not compromise your identity.
And are people doing that with you guys?
Absolutely, they are, and it has resulted in individuals being found. So yes.
All right, Janiyah, we're gonna hopefully, and that's the thing. There's like, well, she has a history of running away, even if she didn't, but that seems to be the running pattern, to say that she is a runaway. She may have had, the mother may have said, well, we had words this morning before I left for work or something like that, but it is, it's not
still a
something
child
that's
missing.
Right. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And what we're also finding is that many times our children, especially our girls, are not seen as victims.
Right.
Adultified. So it's like, okay, you left voluntarily, whatever happens to you, you brought it on yourself. And a word that we use in our community, she's fast. And I'm not even going to say the other words.
No, right.
Now let's just sit back a bit and see what's happening, what's causing this child or these children to leave home voluntarily.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about sex trafficking, and we've had shows about that too. And that is the most frightening thing. And people who are just find themselves at, someone has taken an interest in them or whatever, or online relationships that have developed and encourage them to come away with them and leave your phone, or, I got a phone for you, and we'll let your family know, that kind of thing. And oftentimes it's not for good. It's not for the good.
Right. And our caseload has increased, and it's because of, online sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pick on Stephen, but
Mm-hmm.
I know that he is in Vegas right now, right? And we tend to overshare. I mean,
So scared right now.
can say, I was in Vegas, so report when you get back home. And that's how people have been tracking a lot of individuals, because we're sharing so much information online.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pick on you, Stephen. So just be careful. We share.
That's okay.
I'm at a restaurant, I'm here, there, and you never know who's watching. And, people can get into your homes. These predators can get into your homes. They don't have to use the front door. They can do it online. So if your child has any device that has a chat feature, someone can reach out to them. And we're seeing, with these pedophiles, the grooming process isn't immediate. It can take years of grooming that child to make them feel comfortable, and then sharing that personal information with them.
And that's girls and boys.
Absolutely. Yes. We're seeing our boys being victims.
Oh, I want to be clear with what the longest running conversation Jaden and I ever had was about, I need to know who it is. I don't care if they're male or female, but we've got to make sure that you're not, giving any personal information away. You're not meeting them anywhere outside. So it is definitely girls and boys.
Yeah.
We need to have the conversation.
Absolutely. And one last thing I want to add about sex trafficking. We're seeing a lot of familial sex trafficking. The mother, the father, uncle, or an aunt is trafficking these young children.
Oh my God.
That's sad. It's sad.
It's really sad. Well, we lift you up, Natalie, and thank you and Derica for the work that you do, for creating this organization and putting a spotlight. I mean, so much so that you think about the Natalie Holloway. We found the guy. We've come to the end just this past year, and all of the shenanigans and machinations that he went through in order not to be found, not to be taken to America, and all this kind of stuff. We want that kind of direct and forceful activity to bring our children home as well. And it's incumbent upon us, especially those of us in the media and those that work in news. The media are gatekeepers.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, the stories that come across looking like our little brown and black children, they don't identify with them until somebody in the newsroom looks like them and says, that could be my little cousin. That looks like, so-and-so from around the way. And then they put those stories in the pipeline. Just keep that in mind. When you have a story to tell, let's get it out there.
Absolutely.
Keep up the great work, Natalie Wilson. We really appreciate you.
Thank you all so much for having me, and be safe. And Stephen, have fun, and tell Dior I said hello.
Steve, you're
muted, Steve. You're muted, Stephen. We can't.
Did I say Las Vegas? I'm sorry. I didn't mean Las Vegas. I meant I'm in the back bedroom. I'm in the back bedroom.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry about that.
That's what you call the back bedroom. You call the back bedroom Vegas, right? Okay. Thanks, Natalie. We appreciate you. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
I'll say hello to Dior.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Did I ever tell you that my greatest fear? What my greatest fear?
The work that she's doing is.
Go ahead, Steve.
What's that? What was it?
No, you go ahead. The work that she's doing.
The work she's doing is spectacular, and I'm also hoping that any families and any parents are also doing the work on the front end, so they don't go missing. Right. Know who they're talking. Know who your kids are talking to online. Install that doorbell camera, because if you don't catch something on your porch, to Myra's point, it wasn't even that person's porch. It was someone else's porch that caught the kidnapping, right? And just be aware of surroundings and teach your kids, the signs of like what I think is 2 or 3 fingers. You hold them up behind your back as you're walking. If someone's holding your arm in a mall, to let people know the signal, know that you're going against your will. So all these things you can do on the pre-capture end. So I hope that
we had a situation here years ago, and kids are kids, and you try to school them and tell them blah 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 blah. My granddaughter was I want to say she was 13 at the time, and was chit-chatting online as we found out with someone who was not in her immediate age range. So her mom was freaking out. I was like, let's give the guy the benefit of the doubt, first of all, because we don't know, what she said. But I got into the chat and told him, this is her grandma. I don't know what she told you, but you're talking to a 13-year-old child. We're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you come back again, which this fool did, chit-chatting. Yes. Yeah. Turned out he was 19, didn't matter. A friend of mine was a cop and said, report him to the police. They rolled on homeboy. And unfortunately, now he's listed as a sex offender because he sent personal pictures.
Oh my.
After we told him, because she could have been lying and saying, yeah, I'm 21, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, oh, hell no. I told you were dealing with a child. And
this fool took a warning as a confirmation. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And grandma, you wait till you see this. It's like
okay. And we did the intervention. Her mom took her down to the police station to speak with a policewoman. This is what can happen to little girls, blah, blah, blah. And little kids just hard-headed. Because she was still chit-chatting. Her dad found out she had 5 email accounts as a teen. Yeah, 5.
Did they take her phone away?
Look, her mama I wanted to take her breath away. Okay, it's like, look, little girl, little girl.
Wow. I've heard of situations and now the phones are monitored, just like they only are on for a certain amount of time in the morning, getting ready for school, maybe a couple hours after school, and definitely not during the school day and things like that. But it's just like
it's so hard now. It really is so much harder to regulate. Just like you said, we thought we were really on top of these things. Like, yes, she's had to talk. She had to dance. We got into that conversation. I was like, touch the pearls. Oh, my goodness.
Right.
Yep.
Wow. Stephen Hill, you are in Vegas, and when you come back from Vegas, you'll
allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
What's next
when he gets out the kitchen.
Where are you guys touring next?
Oh gosh, a sold out show in DC on May 24th.
Oh wow.
A really cool thing with Black Music Honors that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about. And more shows to be announced coming up for the summer. But most of all, Yoshi's the annual her home show at Yoshi's, July 5th and 6th, I believe, are the dates in Oakland. World famous Yoshi's.
That's a great homecoming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. And did she take you around the town and show you all the fun places and where she grew up?
So the truth of that is no. It's no. No, she moved around, I think, so much that there's no place that holds an emotional hold on her. It's just like the entire area does, but no specific street.
But she's got some great people that she grew up with.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And perhaps she owes them all money and doesn't want to go see them.
Myra, when you come back from the cruise, are you going to be doing any gigs?
I don't know, but I should be available now, people. Pass the word.
Thunderbird.
Yes, yes.
Here's what's yeah.
Oh, I am doing
And our
St.
reunion.
Kitts in July. The takeover in St. Kitts, July 18th through the 21st.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's gonna be fun.
But that's also known as my kitchen. I'm not going to be on the island
won't
of
be
St.
in-
Kitts in July. I will be in the kitchen.
St.
cooking-
Kitts, we
cooking
call Myra's
kale.
kitchen.
Yes,
That's right.
Yeah.
Same kitchen.
St. Kitchen. Yeah.
The Arizona House has passed a repeal of that god-awful 1864 abortion law, overcoming a GOP blockade measure, and it now heads to the state Senate. The Republican-controlled Arizona House Wednesday approved a repeal of the 1864 abortion law that would have banned nearly all abortions, sending the measure to the state Senate, and they will consider the law next week. And it is set to go into effect if they don't do anything against it and repeal it. It will go into effect June 8th and would supersede what had been the current 15-week abortion ban. And in the contentious session held today, 3 Republicans joined all the Democrats in a vote to overrule the GOP House Speaker, who twice previously blocked the bill from moving forward. And Republicans control that chamber by a 31 to 29 margin. It is likely going to go the way of Kansas and other states and put it on in the state constitution and put that up for a vote by state citizens. And so it'll be interesting to see what happened. Earlier this month, the state Supreme Court ruled the highly restrictive 160 year before they were even a state, it was a law that banned nearly all abortions and saying that it could be enforced, blocking the procedure in all the cases except in the case of saving the life of the mother. Check this out, you guys. Doctors performed the first ever combined heart pump and pig kidney transplant on one person. For the first time, surgeons at the NYU Langone Health performed a combined mechanical heart pump and gene edited pig kidney transplant, helping a 54-year-old woman with heart and kidney failure. Before this took place, the woman from New Jersey faced heart failure and end-stage kidney disease that required routine dialysis, and she was not a candidate for a human transplant. She said, I was pretty much done. I couldn't go up the stairs. I couldn't drive. I couldn't play with my grandkids. And so when this opportunity came to me, I was taking it. Now she's saying she's feeling great every day compared to other days. And so and that preceded these procedures. Would you all do something? Would you take a chance on a risky medical procedure if you were in a situation like that?
Oh, if it was a life and death
Right.
situation, probably, because at that point, what do you have to lose? I might look at the little animal differently, like the relative now or something. But
Could you go to limbs ever again, Myra?
yeah, it might cut back on my barbecue intake. Like, oh yes, we're just barbecuing kale now.
I'm sorry, but that full rack you just had could have actually saved a life.
Stephen, what about you?
If it's life saving, of course. Yes. I have no problem. Any material they could put in me, if it's paper mache and it's going to help me survive, if it's going to be, if it's a member of the Ku Klux Klan who's passing away and passing me a kidney or something, I'll take that. Like anything is going to keep me breathing in and out regularly. I'm good with it.
So I did this story the other day. You guys heard about the man who set himself on fire at the park across the street from where the Trump trial is going on. And he died that same day. But some good came out of that, and he was an organ donor. And they donated his kidneys and saved the lives of 2 people.
Oh, cool.
I thought that was, if there is a happy ending to this, and this obviously was a very troubled man, but something did come out of this, which was for the good. Yeah. Have you ever considered how your last name could affect your grades?
No.
I'm a Wilkes.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes.
So my last name.
Understand why you? Yes.
Because of the way.
As a former teacher, I get it.
So
because you're a W and you're at the end of the alphabet.
And
so they were tired of giving out A's.
And so they just got tired after a while and like, she's more of a C student, she's. So they did a study and it says students with surnames that start with letters earlier in the alphabet tend to get better grades at school than those with surnames that appear later. A study in the online journal Management Science. And this isn't due to the students, but as they say, it's the fault of the default ordering of student names and grades in alphabetical order. The researchers from the University of Michigan analyzed more than 30 million grading records. And between the fall semester of 2014 and the summer of 2022 semester, and found those with names later in the alphabet got lower grades. That was going to be my excuse. After enhancing this data with additional records on students' backgrounds, demographics, and academic progress at the university, they concluded this pattern was due to grading biases relating to the order of the student submissions on a management system called Canva, which ranks the students in alphabetical order. I don't know Canva, but I know that there are school districts that now kids submit their work on Canva. And so if your name starts with a C, and because of the way it all works out, the teacher may very likely give your cousin whose name starts with a Y, Young, you might get a better grade than your cousin in the Young side of the family.
Well, that's not nice.
Steve, did you get tired as a teacher?
As a teacher. So yes, the answer is yes. But I was also, and I credit John Choate for this when I first was an intern teacher, who encouraged never to do anything alphabetical. Don't do anything alphabetical. And it was for that reason. It was for that reason. If you keep having the same people, the last ones you're grading, like, getting tired is a natural thing. So it's going to happen. So the way to do that is shuffle papers and never do it in any kind of order consistently. Wow. So that does.
That's really nice.
So
that's
it's a real easy fix, but you have to put a little bit of effort into it, though.
You just kind of mix
Thank you, John Choate.
A deck of cards. You just kind of.
It's like people sometimes do in Vegas when you possibly might be in Vegas, but you're not.
You know what though? What? I remember in a couple of my classes that the teachers would make us sit in reverse, because you sit in alphabetical order, so everybody last name end in A, sit in the front. No, starting with the Z's in the front. Yep, and flip it. Yeah, you would flip it.
Yeah, I like those days too. Absolutely. Have you noticed how many restaurants and businesses are closing these days?
Yep.
So this affected me because this is a restaurant that I like to go to when I was in Chicago. Chicago-based grocery stores Foxtrot Market and Dom's Kitchen and Market closed Tuesday to the surprise of everyone, not just the customers, but their staff as well. Employees of the two Chicago-based grocery stores, as I said, Foxtrot and Dom's, say they weren't giving any significant warning that their jobs would suddenly evaporate. The closures of 33 Foxtrot stores in Chicago. They have some in Texas. I've not been to that in Dallas, and the Washington, D.C. area, as well as Dom's locations, came as a surprise to a lot of folks on Tuesday. They said in one place, they were telling people, you got to go take a bottle of wine and, thank you for for doing business with us. They didn't, they said, put this sign up in the door and we'll get back to you later.
They just announced today here in Atlanta a very staple sort of Rays on the River. Mm-hmm. Rays on the River, which it's Rays in the city, Rays on the River, and Ray is somewhere else. Anyway, Ray is out. He said he's retiring and he is selling. So I
saw that too. I had it in my notes to ask you about Rays. Wow. Had you been to Rays?
Oh yeah. Rays is very nice. Very nice.
Did George Wallace take you there and spend some money on you?
George Wallace and spending money should never be in the same sentence.
So Foxtrot was a really cool place because you could get fresh food. They would prepare it and you could take it, sort of like Eatsies kind of thing, but sandwiches and real sit down meals you could take home for your family or whatever. And they only announced this merger 6 months ago, Foxtrot and Dom's, and they couldn't make it work. And yesterday everything came to a close. Delivery was halted. Mobile apps went dark. The store credit cards were cut off, and all the member perks were voided effective Tuesday. And I'm really sorry about that. All those kids that were working there and and people that were looking forward to Foxtrot last night, or perhaps
and just a darn good sandwich.
Okay.
Okay.
The
But
food
it's
is
an
good.
art to it. It's an
Right.
art to a good sandwich.
It's hard to get a good sandwich.
Yep.
Entertainment. Is American Idol racist? Is the question that's being asked again. In its long and storied history as a reality competition series, American Idol fans have had to deal with one stark reality time and time again. The show's voters can be pretty dumb and, they say, in some cases, racist. They said it reared its head during the show's latest season and came with much more serious accusations as well. Following the eliminations of Jaina Elise and Roman Collins in season 22, only one single person of color is in the top 10. This created plenty of outrage, and this is something that Jay and I used to talk about because we started calling it American White Doll. And over the recent years, they say voting viewers have tended to favor a certain kind of white, country-inflected artist. And somebody on social media said, American Idol does it again. They have to do something about voting. At least at this point, it's embarrassing, one person said on social media. Fans have noticed that, especially in the recent years, the show and the voting viewers have tended to favor a certain kind of white, as I said, country-inflected artist. And another person on social media added, the show might need to rethink its format in light of the latest eliminations. They say the thing about The Voice is that the coaches have an opportunity to save somebody, or to take somebody from one person to another and save them, and so that the variety is greater when it comes down to the finals. But they say that the judges were very confused about this. But I've stopped watching American Idol a long time ago, but it was part of that. So throughout its history, they had a checkered past when it came to winners of color. Was better in the early days. Ruben Studdard won the show's second season. Fantasia Barrino won the third season, and Jordan Sparks won season 6. And since then, there have been only 3 winners of color. And
question, because I've never watched the show from beginning to end in any season, so I don't know the format. But could this be because the people who are still watching and voting just like that type of format?
They are younger. They are younger people.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think to call it racist, I think is a little aggressive, right? Who watches the show?
Young white kids.
The people who watch the show are the middle, who love country music, so they're going to vote for country music. It's not a racist thing. When black folks vote for black people who are on the show, the majority of people who watch the show are of a certain ilk, like a certain amount of music, which especially over the last couple of years has been the most popular music of all. So it's no secret, and I would really hesitate to call it racist to have someone who loves country music vote for the country music person. Yeah. So that's why I got a little problem with the way.
I understand that. I understand that, but it is very frustrating that they don't see the talent or don't agree with my choices.
I was about to say that. And you've stopped watching the show. Like that's so.
Yeah. So I mean, I take responsibility for that, but I'm not a Katy Perry fan, and I don't like the way she treats Lionel Richie either. So there. But here we are, and when the NAACP comes up with the NAACP Idol, I'm there. Sunday's Best, I'm there. But you understand what I'm saying? It's
right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Now, if the Caitlin Clark equivalent starts winning Sunday Best, then we got a conversation.
And with Angel Reese,
If the
you know,
Caitlin Clark
comes-
equivalent wins Showtime at the Apollo, then it's like, oh, what's happening? What's going on?
Okay, okay. Myra, did you ever watch any of those shows? Do you watch The Voice or anything?
No, no. Here's the thing. I like to catch the highlights. Somebody will put a clip on YouTube or put on Facebook like, this person has an amazing voice. And I'll sit there and go, yep, that was really good. That 2 minutes, that's enough for me. I'm good. I wish them well. And I'll catch them 2 or 3 years down the line if they have a hit record. But no, I just, I don't. And here's the thing to me. It's not, I don't watch the little dance show, which I think is absolutely amazing. I like to watch people. I don't like the judges. I don't want to sit there and hear your little opinion on anything because I have an opinion which I think is just as good. So that's why I just don't watch them. Let me see the talent and just let the talent come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'll vote. But when I gotta sit there and hear what you have to say after every artist, I'm not interested.
And you look amazing tonight. Stephen Hill, you're a man of music and talent. Have you ever thought about that job or trying to seek something like that, or even starting a show like that?
If anybody wants to pay me the multi-million dollars to sit there and judge people and talk about how they do, I'll take that job. I've just never been offered it. One day when I am.
Then there's that. Yeah, right. Let's close this out with today's jewel. It's wise not to overthink, worry, or stress, which is what I do with these shows. Instead, have faith and just let things play out. Just let things play out. Inhale faith. Exhale fear.
Did you hear that, Suitcase? You're not gonna mess with me tonight, okay? What's in there is in there.
And she's talking to her open suitcases waiting to be filled for the cruise. I can't wait to see you guys soon. Take it easy. Thank you so much and enjoy the show, Steve.
Okay.
Aloha.
Safe
Thank you very much.